Hello all YouTubers, I am the Weather Dude. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning back into this tropical discussion for September 10th, 2020. Before I get on with today's video, however, if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest forecast and best forecast from the Weather Dude, then please, every single one of you that is not subscribed, please click the subscribe and the ring and the notification bell so you guys stay up to date with the latest The Weather Dude content. And also, please watch the whole video. Thank you guys so much, by the way, for 1,000 subscribers. It really does mean a lot to me. And this is taking the next step towards monetization, so please watch the whole video. It really does help out my channel a lot. And also, please give this video a like and share this with your friends. Thank you. Now let's get on with today's video. And if you guys visited my community tab recently, you guys might have heard that I've now been monetized, and I really want to thank you guys so much because it's really been a great journey. It's had my channel's definitely had some ups and downs, that's for sure. But thankfully there was more ups than there were downs. And I want to thank you guys for getting me here. And as I said in the community post, I can't wait to keep making great weather content for you guys. And here's some more weather content for today. So one out of the two uploads for today, we'll be talking about 2 potential tropical storms close to the United States and 2 additional tropical storms that are emerging off the coast of Africa, in addition to 2 already formed tropical storms in the Atlantic. So there are 6 total disturbances. At one point there were 7, but Invest 94L has faded out, so we're down to 6 total. 2 of them are tropical storms, 4 of them are tropical disturbances. So we have a lot of activity here in the Atlantic Ocean. Now for today, we'll be taking a look at the 2 systems closer to home here, and both are either in the Gulf or about to enter the Gulf. The first one here, that's by the Bahamas. This has a 40% chance to develop now. I wanted to wait to the 2 o'clock update. In case you guys are wondering why I'm uploading a little bit later, I was waiting for the 2 o'clock update. So a large area of disorganized showers and storms. All right, we have, again, a couple hundred miles east of the Bahamas. There is a surface trough at low pressure, so we're seeing some rotation here. But it's kind of like a bump in the wind, right? Like, it's not a full-on counterclockwise circulation. It's more so a little bump in the winds, which is signaling some potential development. All right, so this system is going to be moving west into the Bahamas, then eventually into the Gulf over the weekend. And we could even, and upper level winds will be low, so conducive for development. And we could even see a tropical storm form. And it will be moving west-northwest over. It's going to be moving slowly as well, according to the National Hurricane Center, over the Gulf early next week. So, like I said, chances for 2 days is a little bit low, but the 5-day chance is a little bit higher at 40%. Then we have a storm already in the Gulf that will be dropping its way southwestward into the Bay of Campeche here in the southwestern Gulf, if you want to call it that. This is another trough of low pressure in the Gulf that we're seeing some disorganized thunderstorms, and we could see some slow development, not going to be rapid, as this moves into the western Gulf early next week. So this is really moving slow. And the chance for 5 days or 5-day development chances for this is 20%. So looking at these storms on the satellite imagery, you can catch them both on the satellite imagery here. As you can see, there's some rotation, but gotta get my marker out here. That'd be nice. There is some rotation, but it's not very evident with the other system. However, with the first system here, the one that has the 40% chance of development, you see a lot of showers and storms, and it's trying to get a little rotation, but it's having a pretty hard time. Not that conditions are too unfavorable. This storm has just gotten recognized recently, so it's it's in the development process. Meanwhile, there's a lot of tropical moisture up there in the mid-Atlantic. Some thunderstorms are hitting there as well, and I believe this is Paulette over here. Believe it or not, Paulette does look good on satellite. The thunderstorm activity does anyway. Actually, the storm has weakened a little bit. So looking at the as of 8 p.m. on the 10th here, right? No, 8 p.m. on the 9th, excuse me. So this is the 0Z update. I think they might be a little bit behind because they should have updated this to 12Z by now. So I think they're pretty behind. But this is just from last night, and as you can see, the Bahamas here, again, above average water all over the place. The Gulf, the Caribbean, everywhere on this map except for the Pacific, because we're talking about the Atlantic. Every single spot in the Atlantic has some red and orange here, or in worst case scenario, white, which means just average conditions, which you can't go wrong with average. But everywhere, we're seeing anywhere from a ½ degree to as much as 2 degrees Celsius, which is up to 3 to 4 degrees Fahrenheit above average, okay, in terms of our sea surface temperatures. Sea surface temperatures near the Bahamas are about 30 Celsius, same with the Gulf, where these 2 disturbances are currently located, so they're sitting in some very warm water, well into the upper 80s here, so very warm. And so the GFS does have the 12Z, but the ocean maps they might have to give a little bit of updating on. Anyway, so look at the cyclone vorticity signature. Here is the 40% storm right here, the first storm, the one that's actually the second storm, the one that's behind the first one, which is in the Gulf. That one is located right about here. All right, so that's the one that has a 20% chance of development. Obviously, none of these are deemed invest yet, so it'll be easy to recognize them when they become invest. But just the first system that's in the Gulf now is right here. The one in the Bahamas is right there. Then it'll be moving over Florida Saturday. Then emerges over the Eastern Gulf. I believe this is Paulette. Could do some more strengthening here on Sunday morning. But there's the other system dropping into the Bay Campeche, getting ready to make landfall in Mexico. And it does so potentially early next week, Monday into even Tuesday maybe. But we got a Paulette there thinking it could become a beast. All right, and even another system later on. And then you got the storm in the Northern Gulf right there. All right, pretty decent looking storm. And they're turning Paulette into a complete beast. This could be rene, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it rene just to make it a little bit easier on myself. But you can call it rene. That's, I think, what it actually is called. But then there's Paulette moving to the north. And the GFS really has it becoming a beast. All right, at least it looks like down on the cyclone vorticity signature anyway. So looking at the surface winds. Here is the first storm, the one that has a lower chance of development. Here's the other storm system right there. And there's Paulette with at least a Category 1, maybe even a Category 2 hurricane developing with Paulette there, moving just west of the Bahamas. So you can see a lot of coastal flooding and some big waves in the Bahamas due to Paulette. As for the storm that we're talking about, not picking up on the wind signature yet. I think it's because, again, it's newly named. We have to start getting some model guidance on it once it becomes an invest. However, the cyclone vorticity signature, like I said, it's always easier to pick it up from there. I think it has a better, it does a better job of picking the storm up than the wind signature. But sometimes the wind signature can pick some storms up, like this tiny one down here that actually could become a hurricane. It actually has some purples there, if you can see. It's really, really tiny. And then there's Paulette up there. So huge beast, maybe even some big waves for the East Coast. Now that was the GFS model. Let's take a look at the Canadian model and see what they think. Now I think they're a little bit less. They're not really looking as, they're not confident in these storms, is what I'm trying to say, in developing. Here's the first system here. You can't really see the second system, but the first system is dropping into the southwestern Gulf here. And there you have it. It kind of turns into like a frontal boundary almost. But they also do have Paulette becoming a beast here. All right, but luckily it shouldn't impact any land besides Bermuda. But still, look at that. They have it becoming a lot stronger here and making landfall right on Bermuda, maybe just a few miles to the west. But I'm not really seeing that 40% system. This one right here with the National Hurricane Center, the GEM model doesn't seem to be picking it up for some reason. All right, maybe they don't think it's going to develop. Because at this point, GFS said it was going to make landfall right now, and I don't even see it. All right, and there is Rene over there. All right, so these systems are having a slow but steady development, and something like Paulette could potentially develop a lot faster. So again, looking at the wind signature, maybe as the storm drops in the southwestern Gulf, the first one anyway, can maybe develop some stronger winds, maybe closer to tropical depression or tropical storm force. But I think once it becomes an invest, this storm will be a lot easier to track. National Hurricane Center starts focusing on it more, and I think it'll become a lot easier and a lot more fun to track because you get a lot more maps when the storm is named an invest by the National Hurricane Center. There's Paulette moving to the north, but other than that, these storms do have a pretty good shot at development. And looking at where storms typically track for September, yeah, they track this way from the Caribbean to the Gulf, maybe through the Atlantic up the East Coast, maybe close past Bermuda, like Paulette is forecast to. But you don't see many storms that are here and drop in this way. So this is a pretty odd storm track, but it still can happen this time of year. All right, but we do see storms that develop by the Bahamas sometimes and even track their way west. So the second system, the one that has a better chance of development, we see these kinds of storms forming pretty often. But the other one that's sitting in the Gulf now, that kind of movement is not common. All right, but it can still happen. These are just the most common tracks, the prevailing tracks. Now the tropical intensity index for the Eastern Gulf, for the Bahamas and the Caribbean here, I made a face. Anyway, all three of these locations are have highly favorable development conditions. Now whether the storm develops quickly, whether it develops slowly, that's all dependent on how the conditions exactly are coming together. But overall, conditions are good for development. So here is Rene and Paulette over here. All right, well, Paulette and Rene. And then you have the system that's in the Gulf right now with some decent vorticity signature on it. Then you have the system behind that has a 40% chance to develop by the National Hurricane Center. The one in front here has 20, but that could certainly change. And then you have another system. Obviously, there's Paulette, there's Rene. And then you have another system potentially coming off of Africa here. This is the 850 millibar vorticity signature. Then when you take a look at something like the dry air signature, right? highlight the Saharan air layer. There's the first system, not too much convection on it, but we do have some convection getting picked up on the second system, which does look a lot healthier. Paulette does have a lot of convection, but you can see there's dry air getting right in the storm center there. So I think Paulette's battling some dry air right now, and it could in its near future, but models are saying it could become a decent Cat 1, if not Cat 2 hurricane, so this is going to be interesting. There's Rene, and here's some more storms coming off of Africa, which will be my other video for today. Now, how about we take a look at the shear, because the shear is very important, and for the sake of the darkness of the map, I'm going to change my marker to green here, like a lime green, so you guys can see it better. And you can see that the first system is not battling too much shear right now, the one that's in the Gulf now. About 10 to 20 knots, not even. The other system is battling not even 10 knots of shear, so the other system is battling pretty much no shear at all. And we can't show you the ship's diagnostic message because as of now, none of these storms are invest yet. But you can see that Paulette is battling a lot of shear as well, right in the thick of that shear. But Rene, not really. So we'll see about that. But Gulf, Bahamas, even the Caribbean overall, especially the Western Caribbean, not too much shear to be found. So these storms, as long as they get their act together, they have a good developing environment. Now, you guys remember this from my hurricane season discussions. I might think about doing another one, but I think 20 is enough. But I might do some in the future once these storms wind down, or even when the storms are still alive. But starting to wind down, I'll be talking about the tropics a lot more as well. I'll be thinking about the 21st hurricane season discussion. Hopefully you guys will watch it if I do put it out. But anyway, taking a look at our isotherm, in case you guys don't know what this map is, this is basically saying how far underwater, how far below sea level will you go and still find 80-degree water temperatures. Obviously, higher up on the scale you go, which you can see on the right side of your screen, the better it is for hurricane developing conditions. As you can see, for where the first storm in the Gulf doesn't look like, I mean, the Gulf has about 50, 75 meters, so maybe we can go about, say, 250, 250 feet below sea level and find some warm water still, which isn't too bad. In terms of actual cyclonic heat, though, you can see a lot of that flowing in from the Caribbean into the Gulf via the Gulf Stream, and the waters are warming up a lot here. We're going to, not only the sea surface temperatures warming up, but there's a lot more heat going on as well, and that definitely supports tropical development. So, taking one last look at the satellite here before we end this video, you can see again, there's the second system. There's the first system with some convection developing over Florida, maybe with that daytime heating. But these storms can develop a lot overnight as well, because of the stability of the air. So the hurricanes actually, believe it or not, do strengthen a lot more overnight. They have a lot more. It's a lot more peaceful, so they have a better time to develop. Not as much shear or dry air can get in their way sometimes. So these storms could develop overnight. All right. Now they could develop more overnight. They might develop fully overnight. We'll have to see. It all depends on how rapid these storms could form, how good are the developing conditions, all sorts of factors. So thank you guys for watching today's video. Please consider watching my next premiere for today. Depending on when you're watching this, it may be out soon, it may be out now, but please consider watching it. I am the Weather Dude, signing off. Till next time, I'll catch you guys in the next video.